So this is where we have to introduce ourselves, because obviously we're the idiots going on this ridiculous adventure. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to Bob. Bob, you should tell the people a little bit about yourself.
And stuff. Right. So I'm Rob Lunt. October last year, I'd had a couple of beers and I was getting a bit maudlin, and I spotted a thing on Facebook to do the TBR700 with TBR stands for 2-ball rally.
Why is it 2-ball rally?
I don't know.
Is it like a men's...
Could be. Could be. Who knows? Maybe you should ask them.
We should check that.
Why is it 2-ball rally?
Why is it 2-ball rally?
Yeah? Isn't that being disingenuous to people who say had only 1 ball or no balls? Yeah. But there you go. And I thought I would like to do that because it looks fun, and it's basically going around Scotland, and I love Scotland. Scotland's a great place. But I also thought it's also the 10th year I was diagnosed with cancer. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2013, had about 2.5 years worth of treatment, and I thought, I'm not going to do a marathon or jump out of an airplane or do 10Ks or any of those stupid things that people do.
Is that because it involves actual exercise?
Well, yeah, basically. Although I have done triathlons, I have done 10Ks and stuff like that, but I just thought, no, I want to do this. This sounds fun. I messaged Steve, and Steve went, yeah, all right, why not? And the rest of the day is history. Hello, dog. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it. And it should be fun. If it's not, it's going to be a very long journey.
Is that in case we fall out? Is that what you're suggesting?
Could be, or the car that we just serviced conks out, and then I get blamed because I was the one that did it. So.
No, I witnessed all the servicing. That looked fairly straightforward.
Yeah, but that's why I'm doing it. So it's kind of like a 10th year anniversary type thing of, I'm not going to say cancer free because it's follicular lymphoma. It doesn't really go away. It's always there, and it's dormant at the moment. And I hope it stays like that for a bit more time to come, because it's just such a ball ache, all that treatment and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
Okay, cool. Oh, it's my turn now. See,
it's your turn.
Shadow wants to come and help. Typical. All right.
So it's recording. I've done my bit to camera, and now it's.
So it's my turn. So I'm Steve. I am Rob's friend. He invited me on this ridiculous adventure, and I'm usually reliable for if somebody says there's an adventure, are you interested in doing it? And to be clear, an adventure can be anything. It can be, oh, we're going to the pub. I'm like, yeah, that's the kind of adventure I like. Or it can be, we're going to take the motorbikes out and do whatever. Anybody who's watched my YouTube channel knows it's boring and full of motorbike stuff. So they volunteered me to drive a car. Now, one of my problems is I haven't got a car license, so I'm learning to drive. so one of the parts of this adventure is me making sure I can learn to drive, and my driving test is about a week before we're supposed to set off. Now, we found out last week that the instructors are about to go on strike, so I might not even get to do my driving test before we get to go, and that will be interesting. Otherwise, we'll be driving around Scotland with me with the L plates on the car. So it's going to be a ridiculous thing. But I'm doing it because I think Bob's doing this for a good cause. Obviously, we're going to do a little bit of charity stuff. In my case, not Bob's charity. I'm going to do it for special effect, because in my normal life, I make video games, and special effects allow children and people who can't play video games because they've got various disabilities, they find ways to help them with that, whether it's special controllers or input stuff. So I think that's a useful charity for me, at least in my past. But mostly I'm going for the madness and everything. So again, I've done the NC 500, so I've got an idea what we're going to see. I know the scenery is going to be stunning. I also know how far apart the fuel stops are, so I'll make sure we fill up. But I'm looking forward to, just as much as Bob, just have a ridiculous adventure. So we're going to service this car, which we're about to take a rally around Scotland. And the issue we've got is we've got to get underneath to get to the sump plug. But when you look, we can't put Bob's ramps under the wheels because the thing's too low. So he's constructed this elaborate construction here, which is a bit of wood that he's going to try and drive up onto that. So let's see how well this goes. The worst case scenario, the car didn't cost us that much, and neither did the tyres. And oh my word! See, I think what's going to happen is what's happening here. Oh, you all right? Keep going. Oh, you know what? Fair play to him. Whoa! Get up. Well, I didn't think that was going to work, so fair play. That was actually quite a surprise. So yeah, I bet you're amused about that, because I didn't think that was going to work, but apparently it did. So any thoughts about what just happened there?
See, what Steve doesn't realise is that my brother-in-law made those shells, and my brother-in-law has a habit of over-engineering stuff. So most things will only need a bit of this, but Stuart's idea for any sort of thing made out of wood should be 3 pieces of 2x4. Once you've done that, you know it will take its weight.
Yeah, well, it did. I mean, I'm not.
No,
There was some audible cracking noises, but
yeah,
well,
it was just settling.
just settling. Fair play. Well done, Stuart.
Yeah, it's just settling. That's all.
Okay, right. Time for some servicing then. So we're doing a 2-bore rally, and we've bought this car, which is an SLK 230, which is interesting mostly because I've not actually passed my driver's test, and Bob thought the best car for me to buy and therefore drive all the way around Scotland was this 2.5 litre turbo diesel effort.
No, 2.5 litre petrol.
Petrol.
We're not doing diesel, that's rubbish.
2.5 litre petrol. Is it turbo?
No, it's supercharged.
Supercharged, okay, which is
better.
better. So that just pumps air into the system through the series of fans and pulleys.
Similar to a turbocharger, but it's more direct. Direct pulls up pressure. Whereas, come on, you bugger.
Well, the air filter's going to be easy to change at least.
Yep.
Any water in it?
No water in it.
Oh, that's good.
It's fine.
So you have to buy these cars to a budget, which we've definitely stuck to. Yeah, 100%. Definitely stuck to. Maybe gone over by £1 or 2.
Or 3.
Or 3. But it's not in bad nick. I mean, it's what? 2001? So
2001, so it's what? 22... In July it'll be 22 years old.
It's almost as old as my bike.
Yeah. I mean, like most SLKs, it's rusty as bugger.
I mean, from a distance it looks great until
it's fine.
Until you get up and then you start seeing like bits around the sills. That's when it goes wrong.
That's where it goes wrong. But if you want to get these, if you can replace these front fenders and all the rest of it, they're about 250 quid for the pair, and then you've got to find someone who will spray it up for you.
Yeah, but then we've gone over budget, so it's no good. And then I don't know if you can see this, but these have got a bit of moisture inside. Well, yeah, just a bit.
So these, you've got to take these clips off. You've basically got to take this unit out, take the clips off, and put a new seal in there, and that's why they get all.
Well, again, it's cosmetic, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Right. Where the hell are the spark plugs on?
So that's kind of interesting. So we're going to do a service on this, so just to make sure it's, you know, roadworthy-ish. I'm feeling that, you know, we are members of the RDC, so if we broke down somewhere we should be alright. But no, I mean, look, we didn't pay an awful lot of money for it, but we've actually got a convertible, so it's a hard top and that folds into the boot. The only catch is with this is once that goes into the boot, which there's actually a fairly sizable boot until there's a roof in it, and then it's not, because where those bits of plastic are, that's the limit of the boot. That's as far as it goes. But you know, April, Scotland, we're going to have a roof down all the time, obviously, because it's famously nice and warm in Scotland. So yeah, but not bad. And there's a cockpit view. We'll take it for a drive once we've done the service.
That's the injectors.
So he's found the stuff.
Right. So I reckon
It's got to be under
plugs
this.
are Under there.
Yeah, it's got to be under that, hasn't it? That's you got an Allen key. That's going to be what that is. Yeah, because look, you see cables going in.
Yeah. So under that, underneath that is the injection loom.
This looks relatively recent-ish. That looks newer, doesn't it? I don't know.
I mean,
To me, that's the thing I worry about.
In it.
Well, there's no obvious
so it should be
maculation,
fine.
is there?
There's a bit of an oil leak, but you know, when you get old, you do a little bit of a piddle, don't you?
Well, I know I do, as an old fella.
Right, let me go and get my tools.
Right, so we'll get the tools, we'll start peddling about with it, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So yeah, as I say, I've not actually passed my car test. I've got my car test about 4 days before we go. So today, I've come up on my bike, which is almost as old as that car, which is my GS, which is 2002. So the car's older. And their Shadow is definitely not coming with us. Shadow! Right, we'll do some spanning. So in true classic style, no matter how much planning and thinking ahead you do, we've discovered we can't get the flipping oil filter off because it's got some kind of wacky plastic cap on it. So as you always must do in these situations, is what do? We're going to go to Alfred's and get another blooming plastic cap oil filter removing do-jiddly what's it, and at least we can change the oil filter, which is not a cartridge type, it's just you take the top off and it's a paper filter. So yeah, so fun trip to Alfred, why not? So we had to go to flipping Alfred's because this thing here is a oil filter, but it's normally these things come out in one piece and they don't have a thing which goes in the middle.
Fits.
That's good. So we've had to go and buy this thing here, which is a oil filter adapter, because yeah, that won't ever coming out by hand. Typical, innit? But yeah, instead of it being a cartridge type, you actually take it off and replace the actual filter itself. So this is going to be interesting. But now we know we can get it off. Well, we'll loosen it. Then we'll drain the oil out and we'll see what state the oil's in. It'll be dirty, because of course it will be. Okay, so we've done the service, we've changed the oil, changed the plugs, changed the air filter, changed the oil filter. What else we changed? Changed the cabin filter, which was an act of we can only describe as contortion. And now we're just making sure it still works, which it looks like it does so far. Oh. You get used to this view, there's going to be a lot of this view. 700 miles round flipping Scotland. Right, Bob.
Oh, blimey, this feels a lot better.
Well, I won't be surprised. I mean, that oil which came out was, I won't describe it as dark.
Looked like diesel oil.
It looked like black treacle is what it looked like.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone come out at an angle as well. It came at an angle and it weren't straight. Absolutely no way with that straight. And they certainly weren't 5 litres came out, so it's going to feel better for that.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Gotta go right.
Is that the exciting way?
It's Ossett, mate. There's not that many exciting places.
I've got to come back out here, not bite later, so that's going to be fun. Oh my word. Right, can you see patch over this side? Right. Thing is, I'm going to have trouble driving this because I'm used to like a Fiat Panda, and like it must be like, I can't even see the end of the bonnet. It's like,
you don't need to see the end
I
of the
imagine
bonnet.
it's like driving a Ford Capri.
No, because if it was a Ford Capri, it would go out even further. You see where that black car is there?
Yeah, that's
where the
that's
Ford
where the
Capri
bonnet would be.
on the Ford Capri.
Like stuck out a mile out. That feels to be pulling all right, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, Tony said it needed a service, and he wasn't wrong.
No flashing lights or gubbins.
No.
Nah, well, there you go. We've probably done. We can't have made it any worse, put it that way. I think we've probably improved it. Okay, so test drive underway. I think we'll leave it there for now.